personally, I'm a course goer, right? I go to a lot of different courses. Over my lifetime, I probably spend about 6 figures in different courses just to learn about different personal development modalities so that I can continue to grow and develop myself. And there was this one day in which I was watching a Netflix documentary about a cult. And after I finished the whole documentary, I paused. And I was like, that sounds very familiar and very similar to what I've experienced in some of these courses. So that's why I thought I would share with you a little bit of my experience so that if you're going to attend some of these personal development courses, here are some of the things to watch out for. Now, the first thing to understand is why would this course would have some kind of a cultish mentality, right? Well, fundamentally, it's very good for business. Now, in case you didn't know, the training industry is a billion-dollar industry. And some of these courses, they have multiple levels. Like the first level would be just 4 figures, second level can be 5 figure, when you reach the 4th and the 5th level, they can be like 6 figure. So some of these courses, the price can get really high, right? And the fact is that if your course participants are so devoted to your course as if it is almost cultish, that's very good for business, right? They do the enrollment for you. They also are very convicted to just share. They are going to stay loyal. So that's why sometimes some courses are built with those form of mentality in it. Like there's this one person, he's depressed, he's a little bit lost. And when he go to the course, he kind of find himself. He feel renewed, he feel rejuvenated. And he decided, well, I love this. I'm going to take it on. I'm going to attend the next few level. And yet the problem is when they are going through the second or the third level, it is part of the criteria for the course for you to be enrolling and bring other people into this course. And the way they frame it is when you enroll people, you get a lot of growth. And if you can't enroll people, we get to see what's stopping you and really help you to work through those stuff. Now, it sounds very good at theory, but here are some of the times where it may go wrong, right? Like for this one person who he didn't manage to enroll people, he still gets stuck. The issue comes is when he decides to quit, there's a lot of blame and shame. People are saying like, oh, you're giving up, you are betraying us, and that, you know, you are just a pussy. There's a lot of this kind of label, and there's a lot of personal attack given onto this person just because he is not willing to do what they are saying. And that's frequently what happens in all this kind of a more convicted, or I would even say cult-based courses, right? Because people's belief is just my course is the best. Everyone needs to attend. Which I'll put a note right here to say in my years of experience with different courses, I don't find that necessarily true. Like some people I know that have get tremendous growth, tremendous transformation with modalities like NLP, you know, the Tony Robbins, rah-rah stuff. But there are people who attended those courses and they are like, doesn't work at all for me. And what worked for them was that they go to some healer, they work with some of this inner child stuff, they heal and they find themselves transformed so much more. So personally, when a friend come and ask me, you know, like which courses should I join, nowadays my answer would be like, well, it depends. What is your need? Where are you at? And then I'll evaluate and let them know what I think will be best for them. See, I'm so nice, so genuine and so sincere. And with that said, I'll share with you some of the things that I think is worth to look out for to know if you're in such situation. The first sign is that there's a lot of blame and shame. They tend to have a lot more personal attack. It is a lot more about you, you're not doing well, you're stupid, you're lazy, some people are this and that. Instead of working on the issue. That doesn't make any sense at all because there are scientific literature that have shown, you know, by educators how all this blaming, shaming, name calling just never work to create good transformation. So you see this kind of sign, just be very mindful of it. Now, number 2, my way is the best way and the rest of the way, they are the wrong way. It is like you need to trust and follow the system entirely. You are not allowed to question because this is just what is best for you. In that case, it's really like, you know, goodbye logic. Number 3, quitting means you are bad. Like, honestly, some of the best courses I know out there, it's okay for you to quit. Like, we all have choice, they bless you. But they say if you quit, it means you are betraying us, they guilt trip you, things like that. That is when things can be pretty problematic. They are attempting to manipulate and control a person instead of, you know, really having your best interests at heart and checking like what is happening. Number 4 is the claim that it will always work. Now, once again, the problem with this, as stated earlier, different ways work for different people. But another way I see this become a slippery slope is when people don't find that modality work with them. It tends to become this victim blaming situation in which people question like, well, why are you not putting in your 100%? Because it has worked for others, it must work for you too. So it's not about the modality that has the problem, but it's about you who is not putting in the effort and you are not willing to open up for transformation to happen. And number 5, now this is not necessarily a sure trade, but I think this is something to watch out for, right? Is that they have a lot of marketing and sales and there's this constant sharing with you why the course is the best. And my friend would jokingly and sometimes in a loving way say, okay, here comes the brainwashing again, you know. I'm not saying it's wrong. Some of the courses, they are built that way. They need to have that upsell to have the business to be going. I understand. But I just want to point out that I have also attended plenty of other courses in which when you are there, their time is focused on serving you fully. And instead of telling you why it is the best, they show you how it is the best. And that is just what my personal preference is. I just find it a much better use of my time, and when I'm served really well in that course, I will tend to want to bring that course further. Now, here's a few additional signs if the course is only led by one leader, right? Some of these courses, the leader is all high and mighty, and when you cannot question them, it becomes very problematic. Number 1 is that this leader, they get to call people in, they get to exploit people. Sometimes that's how you have course leaders that are involved in rape cases, exploiting the followers, things like that. And number 2 also is that if the environment is set up in a way that the leader is always right, the leader is put in this tough spot because the leader is still a human. Sometimes they make mistake. And when the environment is as such, and when the leader make mistake, they don't have the space to admit that, and sometimes they just goes into blame or they shove it away, which is just not healthy for everyone involved. And the second sign I will watch out for is whether these leaders, they use tools for manipulation, like asking for pity, right? Like, they will say things like, I work hard for all these people, I feel so tired, yet some people don't appreciate my effort. I'm not saying it's wrong to share your feelings sometimes. If you are a boyfriend or your girlfriend is like, honey, I'm really tired today. Hey, don't manipulate me. I'm not responsible for it if that leads to...
Oh, you're right.
But I'm saying sometimes it's questionable when it is shared with the intent to push someone to do things that is beyond what they want to do. And my final thoughts in this kind of situation is that it's not easy to be in this kind of situation, right? Like, I remember I was in one of these courses where the course leader obviously had a lot of wrongdoing. A few of us who are there in a senior, we just realized like, okay, something is wrong. We gotta do something about it. So it got to a point, some of us play good guy, some of us play bad guy, and the one who are bad guys, they put the leader up on the stage, they question them, and the good guys still make friends with him. It's almost like a Korean drama. So any director, if you want to have good script, come to me. I have a very good story to tell. So it becomes really complicated, right? Like, some part of me knows that I have grown and learned so much from the course and also the course leader. There's this relationship that we know that there's care for each other. But yet at the same time, it is also like we know some things are principally not right. So that's when there's this cognitive dissonance. It can get very challenging sometimes. I would say if you find yourself in one of these situations, to really reach out and maybe ask for some support. Ultimately, we are the person who have the power with ourselves. We have the choice and the ability to decide what's best for us and what's not right for us. And if the course leader insists on doing certain things a certain way, and you decided it is just not the best for you, you brought it up, yet they didn't really listen, instead they go to blame and shame, really, just stick to your principle, stick to your personal power, don't let them take the power away from you, and do what's right for yourself. Because really, you deserve a better community. There are plenty of courses, incredible community in which people support one another, we work on our issue, we come from a space where we coach, we love, we serve, there's no blame, there's no shame, you get to be the person who decide. Plenty of courses that are like that. And with that said, that's all for this video. I'll see you next time. Take care.